loving friends, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, my name is Teresa. Every week I talk about the new makeup releases that you guys want me to talk about because you very kindly tag me in content on Instagram. And this week I am joined by the fabulous Alexis. I'm going to have her details down below. She has a fabulous Instagram account. Check her out. You won't be sorry. Alexis!
Hi.
Tis very exciting. Look, you know the drill. I love having lots of people on here because it's all about fostering an actual beauty community and we enjoy that. But as I said, I would have nothing if you guys didn't tag me in things. So a massive thank you to every single one of you who have been very busy tagging me in content. I am displaying your names right now. And a huge thank you to my Patreons. You keep me sane, or at least sane adjacent, because I do annoy you in my WhatsApp group every so often.
I feel like we keep you as sane as the rest of us are, which is not necessarily sane.
It's like the group average of sanity. We have a birthday this week. A very happy birthday to Miranda.
Birthday!
Yay! Have a fabulous day. I've sent on birthday cards. So, given the way that the postal system is in the UK, I don't know. You might get it tomorrow. You might get it next year. You may never get it. Who knows?
It's been better. It has been better. I've probably jinxed it now, but
I should have actually just taken a video of me like putting the cards into the post box as proof of like I remembered.
I did the thing.
Here's the thing, the fabulous Tia was meant to be back this week. I know I've had so many people commenting being like, don't get me wrong, we love having people on, but we really miss Tia. And I'm like, I know, I do too. And she was meant to be on this week. However, she messaged me. She said she's not feeling very well. She has the flu. She was like, I could come on. And I was like, don't do that. Go and lie down.
We love you, Tia. Get better.
Yes, and I miss you. So here's the thing. Tia has been very dramatic. I know how unlike her. So she said the theme was chopped liver because she felt like she was chopped liver during the time that she was gone. And I'm like, well, you know that you abandoned me, girl. You abandoned me. So I am true chopped liver. So I don't really know what we're going to do with that theme if anyone submitted anything, but if they have,
I went with the thing of like, because I couldn't think of anything, and I was like, you know what? If somebody called me chopped liver, that is like, oh boy, you are getting the revenge makeup. So,
oh yeah, okay, revenge makeup makes sense. If anyone else managed to actually figure out what that meant,
I cannot wait to see these.
Yeah, I hope that Callie gets an actual bit of chopped liver and puts it onto her face.
Please do.
If you haven't, I'm going to be so disappointed in you. We do have quite a few things to talk about, and Too Faced have been simultaneously giving us the most while giving us the least, in that they have a few releases at the moment, and it does just feel very lackluster and dated. This is their Italian Spritz eyeshadow palette, and it's $54 for an 18-pan palette, so it's working out as $3 per shade. And I took some pictures from their website, which, if I'm honest, I'll show you those pictures now. They look very lackluster, particularly when you're looking at the swatches. But when I was looking at Dupe That's Instagram page, which I'm also going to show you right now, the swatches looked totally different. Like the swatches actually looked interesting there, but the way that they've sold it, I feel like they're a bit like Colourpop in that they don't know how to photo their things.
Even my cat is angry.
Yeah.
That's how bad this is.
At least they haven't done a full purpley pinky palette, which is what they usually do, but they don't do it well. They have like one pop of pinky purpley and then a random blue.
Why is there a dark blue shimmer?
I honestly do not know, because any of the mattes that are there are all neutral.
Yeah, like I can understand the neutral and the bright blue thing. I think it's overdone, but we know it works. What are you supposed to do when the dark, I think it literally is the darkest shade in that palette is a shimmer.
It is though. That's the thing. There's nothing, I just don't get it, because any of the colours that are there are all shimmers. So they're, I guess, literally just meant to be, here's my cut crease, here's my halo eye.
Yeah, I mean, I've done the cut crease thing today, so I feel like I'm like slightly limited and, you know, I can't really bash the cut crease.
I mean, I am queen of cut crease. I'm like cut crease. Blah, blah, blah.
Well, I aspire to have that level of cut crease skill. I do not. But beside the point. But like, I mean, you know me. You know I love my pinks and my purples. But I could get 1, maybe 2 looks out of this using, like, the top row. Who is this targeted towards?
That's the thing, and that's what always confuses me about Too Faced is who are their demographic? Because sometimes they do cutesy, like, here's this thing that we've packaged like a bear, and you're like, okay, so you're teeny bopper teenage makeup. Okay, fair enough. And then they'll be like, but here they're better than sex mascara. And I'm like, but then that can't be for the teeny boppers. So who are you marketed for? And I had a few people kind of saying this feels very Revolution esque. And I think part of why they're thinking that is Revolution have historically, how do I say this, ripped off Too Faced and kind of gone, your chocolate bar palettes will have a little bit of that. I will say I'm glad that they haven't gone with the chocolate bar thing because that has been done to absolute death.
So they have just, like, they literally have just done their, like, better than sex chocolate. So,
Yes, yes. It
like,
erased that from my
we
mind.
we can't we can't even say that, like, the chocolate thing hasn't been done recently. Okay, slight progress, but if progress is going in this direction, I don't think I want it.
It's ironic, by the way, guys. We're filming on International Women's Day, so the topic of like progress not being the way that we want it to go feels very on brand.
We've
Yeah.
legitimately just had, like, a 20-minute rant about, you know, all things women.
But this just feels weirdly dated as well when I look at this palette. I don't know, like Too Faced, I feel like when it comes to their eyeshadow palettes, are very stuck in an era of about 10 years ago.
Yes.
And I,
Got into makeup, so I, like, can't even really be like, "That's 100% true."
well, you see, I was into makeup at the time that they were like peak, and I have quite a few of their things. I know, but that's because I'm a hoarder and I struggle to let go of anything because
It's not hoarding if it's makeup.
yeah, but I'm really bad because I'm like, oh no, the makeup will be sad if I get rid of it. No, Teresa, it's an inanimate object. It has no feelings, but I convince myself that it has because I think I've watched the little toaster too many times. So I think that things have feelings.
I mean, we don't know that they don't.
I'm ruined, is all I can say. Never try and do a declutter with me because I can't do it emotionally. I just can't. I'm not able for it. But I just don't feel that this palette warrants the price. If it was $20, I think I'd be like, okay, fair enough.
Not for
Somebody's
me, but
enjoying
fair.
that. But I think when you're looking at the swatches in the way that Too Faced are presenting them and then putting it with that price tag, I'm like, excuse
Yeah,
me?
even, like, me looking at it being like, "Okay, what could I do with this palette?" If I look at the Too Faced swatches, I'm like, "There's a couple of things I could do." I look at the swatches from Duplat, and I'm like, "That's just blowing those entirely out the water."
Yeah, that's the thing.
Then
And
it's
then
like, I'm paying $54, which is a lot of money for one eyeshadow palette, for something that I'm not even sure what it's gonna look like when it gets here.
and we've had that issue with the likes of Colourpop for I want to say years really at this point. And I think if you're a big company that is able to invest in these things, you're gonna have to be like really mindful about the way that you're producing your content. And if it is the case that those are accurate photos on Two Faced, then it's the question of did Duke that screw with the pictures to have
Then
the
why would she do that? Because she has such a big audience, and, like, why would she risk her credibility?
yeah, which would seem strange to me. So I just don't get it from a sales point of view why you would do that. But mind you, again, Colourpop does that. So
Yeah, big brands, be better.
yeah, I just look. I don't care about it. I don't want it. I don't find it interesting. I don't think they've scented this palette because they love fucking scenting everything.
I think they might have done.
Oh, they probably did. I'm just maybe it's just me with wishful thinking.
I have a horrible feeling that they
Oh,
did.
they did effervescent citrus cocktail scent, whatever the fuck that is.
Which, I love me a citrus cocktail as a drink.
There's a part of me that feels like if I'm gonna open this, it's gonna smell like Barocca.
Either that or potentially controversial opinion, but Aperol Spritz, which I cannot stand.
Yeah.
I feel
It,
like everyone's gonna hate me for that one, but
you see, I don't drink, so none of these things appeal to me, and I'm really weird about scents. I
yeah.
struggle on a sensory basis. It ain't for me, and if it's for you, that's fantastic. Delighted for you. But I'm like, again, Two Faced. Who are you marketed towards? because scenting your products feels very.
Teenage.
Yeah, it does. But then what teenager has $54?
If they do, I wouldn't be telling them to spend it on this.
If they do, I'd be telling them to give it to me. They don't need it. I have bills to pay.
Yeah, either that or like start investing. Like build an investment portfolio. That's the most sensible thing you can do right now.
Yes, children, do that. But when I put it to you guys, it did okay. Actually, 21% of you loved it, while again, quite a few of you guys are actually on a no or a low buy, and I hope that is going well. You are better than me. And this is actually new from Too Faced. I just saw this today, haven't had a chance to talk about it yet, but this looks like we're getting some new foundation. It's apparently an oil-free nourishing serum foundation with up to 24-hour wear and hydration. I've said it before, why do I need to have a foundation that's going to stay on for 24 hours? I know that there's people who do shift work, and that's fair enough. They may well want to have a foundation stay on for that long, but for me, not so much. It is apparently a medium coverage and it'll give you a natural finish, which I quite like. I like more of a light to medium sort of a coverage. That's my kind of thing. And there's SPF 30. You know what I'm going to say here. Don't count on that to be your full SPF. Have that along with your standard SPF. But they've all these things that they're like, I swear to God, if I hear one more person say anything about hyaluronic acid in a foundation, I'm going to cry, because it's all over the place of them just, I think it's like the sexy serum of the moment of, oh, clearly.
It is literally the buzzword at the moment, and I'm like,
It is.
it's in every single bit of my skincare. Like, if you own a moisturizer, congratulations, you're using hyaluronic acid.
That's the thing, and I feel like they're using that to try and increase the price when it isn't actually justified. Just go and get yourself like a hyaluronic acid serum from fucking.
Don't get it from the Inky List or the Ordinary. It's like
Snap.
£6.
Snap. That's exactly what I was thinking. Exactly.
There's one in my cupboard right now.
They're fabulous. They're fabulous.
Yeah, they're great.
But here's the thing, right? They're saying they have all of these things of like coconut water, which I don't really know how much that's actually going to help. They say it's going to.
Aren't some people like majorly allergic to coconut and stuff?
Exactly. Some people can be. And I think that's a little bit of a.
I mean, they've put it out there so you know at least what you're getting, but why? What's the
Yeah.
need?
They say that
They
it's
were excluding people from foundations.
yeah, but they say it's about replenishing skin's moisture levels. Now, I don't know if coconut water itself will do that.
You drink it.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
drink
not how
your
you do
hydration.
it.
Drink your hydration.
Do we have to go back to explain to them the basic thing of hydrating? Now somebody's going to take this foundation, try chugging it, and be like, "I'm going to be extra hydrated now because of coconut
What
water."
we said, lads. It's not what we said.
That's not what we said. Please don't listen.
Don't sue either of us. That's not what we said.
Good luck suing me. I have nothing.
I have less than nothing.
We're such successes. Then there's apparently alpine rose in it, which, okay, I guess. Now, what kind of bugs me is there's 18 shades, and if you look at them, they do not go very dark. And if it had just been like a serum, a tint of very light coverage, then I'd go, okay, do you know what? That's all right. But the fact that it's going and saying that it's going all the way up to medium coverage, you need to have some extra shades in there, in my opinion.
I have feelings on this. So, because you've put the shade chart in the PDF.
Yep.
Over dinner, I was like, I am going to analyze the hell out of this. And, you know, looking at the shade chart, all of the light shades cover at most 2 of their pre-existing foundations. Right? You go into the medium/tan shades, most of them are 2. There's one that's 3. You go into the deep shades, 2 of them, actually no, one of them is supposed to cover 3. One of them is supposed to cover 4 foundation shades.
It's actually hilarious when you see them all stacked next.
I really hope you're going to put that like in the video.
Obviously, yeah. Sure, I put that in the PDF for a reason.
It is caucasity at the highest level. Like why on earth does a foundation, moisturizer, whatever you want to call it, why does that cover 2 white people shades but 4 people of color shades?
If you look at the proportion of light versus medium versus deep shades and the number that they're actually saying that's going to go, like if you look at their original shades that they're saying here's your perfect match from the original and matte, if you're looking at those light shades, they have like 3, 6, 9, 12 shades from the original, and they've kind of gone, okay, you can manage to get that across 3, 6, 9, 10. They've almost gone shade per shade. And like Alexis is saying, You look at the deep shades, and they had originally 12 shades, and they went, hey, here's four. 4 to 10. That's the ratio that we're actually talking about here. Like, they've actually
And
quantified how little they care.
are we seriously still doing this in 2023?
Like,
Seriously.
I get that Jared Blandino, who doesn't have anything to do with the company anymore, he infamously had that cake of rich life.
Oh god. Yeah, don't. Like,
And you would think the fact that he's not in the company anymore, that some of that would have filtered out, but it almost feels like that is still there to some effect. And what
also,
I was,
why is it taking us as makeup and beauty lovers who don't own businesses, don't own companies, don't create makeup products? Why is it on us to call out multi-million, if not billion-pound dollar, whatever brands for not being inclusive? Like, why was nobody in their boardroom like, lads, this is not acceptable. We can't release this.
but here's why. Because I guarantee if you look at their boardroom, it's going to be filled with white people.
Yeah.
They're not going to have any sort of diversity across any of the minority groups. And that's why, if you don't have somebody in there representing, this is what happens, a 4 to 10.
I'm also very aware that we are two
Very
white people calling this out, and it very much is not our arena to speak on. Brands, be better. I feel like that's going to be my catchphrase this episode, but just be better.
Because the thing was, I looked at this and I've been on a bit of a weird foundation kick lately. I don't know what it is. I really like foundation. I never used to be that into it, but I'm like, oh, interesting. And I saw this and I thought, do you know what? This could be quite nice. Too Faced in general do nice foundations. They do nice concealers. They're generally very nice.
There's not one that's pale enough for me in their existing foundations.
Yeah, to be fair, the ones that I have to mix with other things to get them to go
Yeah,
down.
I mean, I am literally a ghost, but I'm not going to go on a rant because it's far more important that we are inclusive to people of color than white people. But
I truly don't get it that they actually. But even these images, by the way, that I took of them saying, "Here's your shade match," I didn't make those.
no,
Those
that's
were
them.
released. Those were released by the brand themselves. At
No,
no point.
that's like the brand being like, here, this is what your current foundation is. Let's be helpful. You
But
know
at
what
no
would be
point.
helpful? Make more shades.
But this is the thing. At no point, like seriously, how is it that at no point in making those files of those images did somebody kind of go, "This looks a bit weird"? That as we go into the deeper shades, we're having less and less and less. That yes, on the surface there's 18 shades. But of those 18 shades, 10 of them, 10 are
Oh,
for light skin. 10.
it's not a shade range. You know, you can have a range with 10 shades. Is 10 shades going to cover everybody? Absolutely not. But you can have a range. There is no excuse for any brand launching complexion products in 2023 to not have an equal distribution of shades.
And I think particularly if you're a brand that has the resources, right? They're part of the L'Oreal brand, or I think it's L'Oreal. They're in one of those big conglomerates.
One of the S is one of
They're
the
in
two.
one of them. They're in one of them. They belong to something that has a lot of money at their disposal. It's not like we're talking about an indie brand here, right? They have the assets, they have the resources, but nobody was there to kind of say, lads, maybe we need some deeper skin tones. Because it doesn't go anywhere near deep enough. It doesn't. Again, considering its medium coverage.
I mean, you even look at their charts. Like, I can tell you instantly that, like, the deepest of this new healthy glow, whatever they want to call it, like, that matches maybe like sable to sable
Yeah.
would be match.
And
That does not fit with their deepest original foundation shade.
the audacity of them to say that sable from their new range will match ganache.
No, it won't.
They're totally different.
Maybe as a concealer if you want a bright under eye.
I think they might be a little bit insane.
I mean, you call this releases and rants. Like, I feel like we've just gone on a full blown rant.
Yeah. In an academic sense, this is what I'm going to say to you, because I sometimes come on as a second or first reviewer for a paper that's submitted to a journal. Revise and resubmit. Don't release this. Go back to the drawing board. Add in, I don't know how many extra shades.
I honestly think they could add in at least 10,
Oh, minimum. Yeah.
but 10 deep and medium shades.
Revise and resubmit, lads, because this ain't it. Not with the fact that we know that you have resources. I don't know what you guys think of it because I haven't actually put it to you guys yet, but I will know and I'll show you below as to what you guys think. But moving on, this is Bella Beauté Bar and they're an indie brand and they announced that they were coming out with this. It's their magic palette and there's a lot going on here. You can get the magnetic palette by itself. You can get the magnetic palette with all of the 9 shadows together and I was like super excited about this until I saw the price and then I was like, oh god, oh no, I need my kidneys. That is $145. And so for me, like if that was $145 including shipping, taxes, customs, then I'd be like, do you know what, I'll stretch to it, I'll make it happen. But that's before you get to shipping, that's before you get to fees. And while it is beautiful and it does make me kind of go, oh, that's very pretty, it is not beautiful enough for me to put myself into a state of debt over. However, what I will say is, and I do appreciate this, they are selling them as single eyeshadows as well, which I do appreciate that at least a brand is kind of listening in that sense of somebody might kind of go, do you know what, I really like this, but I can't get all of it. I'm just going to get 2 of my favorite shades from this. And that's what I'm going to do. And that's going to be my treat. And I'm glad that they've done that. They're still pricey. They're $17 each. Like they're not like, oh, I'll just pop them in my basket. They're a splurge item. They definitely are. I will say, for the last couple of releases that Bella Beauté Bar have come out with, they have legitimately made me turn my head. And the fact that I've been doing some version of releases and rants for about 3, almost 4 years now, the fact that there is still brands out there that make me kind of go, wow. I'm not saying this is a bad product at all. If it turned up, I'd be fucking delighted and I'd love it. But I think that given the current climate, it is an awful lot to ask at the moment. But again, they are an indie brand. They have overhead costs. They can't bring it down the same way. So I think at least the fact that they have that option of, I just want to get a single, is a little bit better. But for me, in the words of Dragon's Den, I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, they're an indie brand. They are also multichromes. Multichrome pigments are expensive. We know this. But honestly, the fact that they're doing it as you can buy the individual singles, I'm there. Like, you know me. I am a purple and blue addict. I will die on that hill. I will never stop wearing them. That light blue shade.
Yeah.
Oh, that has my soul.
And can I just say, the still pictures do not do it justice. I'm going to play you guys a video that I found over on Bella Beauté Bar's Instagram. I included it in a TikTok video before, and you can really see the shimmery, glittery, holographic-y goodness, and it does make you want to cry. Like, it's beautiful. So
yeah, I mean, like, I'm a magpie at the best of times, but the fact that it's like tickling my little magpie heart and making me happy, and it's blues and purples, and I'm like, oh, please, I need it.
The fact that the only negative thing that I can say is the price is, I think, in and of itself, a good thing. I think they've curated this really, really well. It looks really interesting. It's just the price. But for people who don't have the crazy makeup collections like me, who might be like, I'll buy 2 or 3 nice things for myself a year, this is the thing for
or
you.
like as a birthday present, or
perfect for that. I do feel like this is a really beautiful release. If money was no object and I was Jeffrey Bezos levels of rich,
instant, I'd buy 2.
Oh, I'd buy one for everyone in the audience. I'd do a full Oprah Winfrey on it, I think
And
it's
this is why we love you.
Yeah. If I have it, I'd give it, But I do think this is really nice. I like seeing indie brands. I really feel like they're the ones who are innovating. They're giving us the stuff that we actually want. Like, would I spend $54 on that Too Faced? No. But you look at this, and yes, it is a little under 3 times the cost.
Oh, but I'd pay it.
But I'm like, if I had that money, yeah, I would.
I'd pay it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, but if I had that money, I would never buy the Too Faced.
No.
So that's the thing. It's all relative. I think it's beautiful. And can I just say, when I put it to you guys, before we knew anything about the price, and I think this is super, super telling, 41% of you said love it. And the remaining 45% just said, I want to see some swatches, which, by the way, I haven't seen yet. They are still to come, but based upon just some of the videos.
Honestly, I don't even care because, like, just from these photos, I can tell that they are gonna be
Yeah.
glittery, glorious, and I'm like, "You have my heart."
This next one is a mixture of horror and sadness, is the only way that I can really think of it.
I'm just looking at this and I'm like,
Confusion.
where do I even start?
I mean, let's just say who it is and what they're doing. This is Mad Beauty. You might know Mad Beauty if you've ever gone into Boots before Christmas and they shill out a ton of Mad Beauty stuff, which is always around a Disney collection. And they kind of go, here's some stocking fillers. That's the only way I ever think of Mad Beauty is come into Christmas and they're part of the 3 for 2. And this feels like this is going to get designated into their Christmas stuff. They have done essentially a collection which includes some of the Disney princesses of major kind of note. We have Jasmine, we have Belle, and we have Ariel. Those are the eyeshadow palettes. But then they really just went bananas with everything else. There's like hand creams, there's body wash. They did a whole dedicated almost Little Mermaid thing where there was hair clips, lip balm duos, there was fragrances, body mists, hand and body washes, bath salts, and then they were like, but also here's some random makeup bags. But the thing that frightens me the most, and I've said this before because Mad Beauty also a couple of weeks ago, months ago, did a Scooby-Doo collection, and they've done this again where they've taken the sheet masks and it looks like they've skinned each Disney princess and now you just get to wear their face as some sort of a trophy of war, and it's so creepy. Like,
Honestly, though, like, I've got a friend's hen do coming up in a few months' time, and I am, like, seriously half tempted to buy a load of these just so we can share the like, scare the crap out of each other.
but that's what I think that would be for.
I can't think of any like, why would you give that to a child? That's terrifying.
But this is the thing. I'm like, is this actually like a kid's brand? What the fuck is this?
I mean, I would look at it with my marketing hat on and say this is for kids. But then I look at the actual products and I'm like, that's not for kids.
Exactly. What kid is like, I must go and get hand cream. I want some body wash.
Like, you know, I feel like it's more of a mum being like, my kids don't like bath time, so I need to like get them a bubble bath that's exciting or like something that is a character that they love. Or like I don't see a connection between the packaging and the products in terms of target audience.
No, they don't make sense at all. And like, I think what gets me as well is Disney have been doing an awful lot of collaborations in the last couple of years with makeup brands, and it's
Really sold themselves out.
yeah, I'm like, are you in trouble, Disney, or is it just that you're greedy?
I mean, I very much doubt that they're in trouble given the amount of stuff that's added to Disney Plus every however often.
Therefore,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Put two and two together, lads.
I
Equals
mean,
four.
the thing is, Disney are much beloved. People, because we grew up with it, a lot of us are like, oh, nostalgia. It reminds me of simpler times. And they bank so much on that people want to buy these things to recapture those really lovely times of innocence.
Honestly, I would not be surprised if when like pretty much everywhere went into lockdown, somebody at Disney was like, right, lads, everyone's scared. Ramp up the nostalgia factor because people need escape and we can make a shit ton of money off it.
Yeah, I'm done though. I don't, and I love Disney. I do. I really,
I
really
love Disney. I have a Disney Plus. I watch Disney when I'm feeling bad.
same. I just do not get this. Like, even the palettes, let's talk about them very, very briefly. Color stories do not make sense with princesses. It drives me nuts that out of two of the palettes, their weirdly shaped pans are in the same place for two of them, and then in the other one, the weirdly shaped pans are in a slightly different place.
If you're gonna have weirdly shaped pans, have them in the corners, which
Thank
is the one that's different.
Because it hurts my brain, and I'm not actually able to look at it.
And
So
also, like every Ariel palette ever is like, we need a red for her hair, and we need a turquoise for her tail. Like, wow, so innovative, lads.
I will also say I don't like Ariel very much.
Oh, spoiled little.
Because the feminist in me is just sitting there kind of going, you are literally giving away your voice for a man that you met once and throwing away your family, your culture, everything for a guy who hasn't noticed that you're not saying anything.
Yeah, and isn't weirded out by that fact. Like, if we took this out of the context of a Disney film and put this into context of real life, how many of us would be calling the police and being like, "This is abuse"?
Yeah. Ursula was not the villain.
No.
Ursula gets a lot of flack, but I think she's the best, is all I'm saying.
Also,
And
fine makeup on point.
yeah, oh, she's fucking amazing. Ursula's the best. She doesn't conform to like ideals of beauty standards. She's a shape shifting creature and she chooses to look the way she does because she's like, fuck the rest of you. And I love her energy. And I'm dying on that hill.
The,
Ursula's
the
best.
older I become, the more I'm realizing that I want to be Ursula and not Ariel.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. Like no questions. But this collection, and it's like collections within collections within collections, because they've just kind of gone, I don't know, all of them. All of the
Of
prints.
the things.
Less is more sometimes, lads. I am going to say that I hate it because it doesn't fill me with rage in the same way that those ridiculous hip
I
dot.
don't feel strongly enough about it to say that I hate it.
But it does bug me that I'm like thinking about how much waste this generates. So I'm mildly irked.
I am irritated.
Anyways, I feel like we spent a lot of time talking about it. When I put it to you guys, it didn't fare very well. There was nothing beyond a 9% love it. The thing that did the fucking best was the makeup bags and bath fizzers.
I love a good bath fizzer.
Yeah, and to be fair, those are the things that I think are the best out of them. The eyeshadow palettes were a travesty, and then the sheet masks did not do great either. Then we have Stila, and it feels like Stila haven't really done anything in a long time.
Hey,
But
Tina are still existing.
honestly,
How has Becca gone under, but Steeler's still a thing?
do you know what? If somebody turned to me in the morning and said Steela's in trouble, I'd kind of be like, yeah,
Yeah, saw that coming.
I wouldn't be surprised. But this is their calligraphy lip stain, and they're saying it's a revolutionary double duty lip stain that lines lips with precision while providing a full sweep of soft, buildable colour. Now, I don't know about you, but I would never use a lip tint to line my lips.
I'm lining my lips, I want full pigment.
Yeah, so it feels like actually that's going to give a really weird effect. So is it a liner or is it a lip tint? It cannot be both.
I mean, I am seeing more of like blurring lip liners.
That's a trend that's come in from Korea.
If that's the route they're going down, like it's not for me, but go for it. I can't imagine like using because surely, like if you're using a stain, you're like, let me also use a lip liner so this doesn't bleed over my entire face throughout the day.
That's the thing. And also when I'm looking at the actual tip of it, it looks really weird. I'm like, is it felt? Like what is
Oh
that?
god, if it is, I'm out.
It looks but it looks really weird. Doesn't it? Like it's shaped in such a strange way.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Like I'm zooming in on it now. It looks like a tongue.
It looks fabricy, you know.
It does. It's a fabric tongue.
I don't like it. My sensory self is just sitting there kind of like, can't have that on my face. Even if it's on my lips, can't have it on my lips. I just can't. I just can't. And I love how they're kind of being like, we're super revolutionary on lip stains, but I'm like, lip stains have been around for a really long time.
It's been
Benefit,
around for as long as like blackberries have been around.
honest to God, but Benefit kind of came to fame with their Benetint.
Yeah.
That's literally what they were known for a very long time. And that's been around for what, like 20 years, something like that? That's well established. Well established. So this isn't anything necessarily that new, but what they are saying is new is that whole like lip liner, lip stain thing. And I think they're probably looking at like the success that Fenty Beauty had relatively recently with their lip stain and kind of went, can we capitalize on that as well?
Yeah. And then Elf, of course, who duped but didn't dupe.
Well, to be fair, can you really dupe ideas like lip stains? Like they've been around for ages. So
exactly. What I will say is the range of like colors of this is pretty good. Like
they look nice.
There's some interesting shades. It's not like your classic like brown nude, pink nude, red. It's like there's some interesting colors in there.
I agree. I think they look really interesting. And what What I would say is I'd like to actually see people using them and see what they think of it.
I'd like to see somebody like Robert Welsh review it and see his opinion as a makeup artist.
Yeah, I trust him. If he
Yeah.
told me to buy dog shit, I'd be like, well then.
If you're telling me that that's the new foundation I need to use, I will do it.
It's non-comedonogenic and it has hyaluronic acid.
I mean, what more could you want?
This is my new foundation line.
If he's watching this, he's gonna be like, "Oh dear lord, I did an episode with this woman."
I'm sorry, he'll never come back. I love the shades of this. If this was like do you know what? If this was like just liners, lip liners,
Oh yeah, I'd be all over that.
I'd love that. Make these.
Liner, lipstick, even like matte lipstick, which I very rarely wear these days, which is like, why? But like, I'd be all over that.
Same. When it comes to these lip stains, I don't care.
No.
Is what I can really say. $25 also is like, feels a bit pricey. I'm just going to get some strawberries and smear them on my face instead.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay that for a lip stain.
And it seems a lot of you guys felt the same way because 15% of you ended up loving it. And I am very sorry, but we have more Disney nonsense. Essence and Catrice are essentially sister companies, and they've done this before several times where they have collaborated together on some sort of a Disney collection. And this time they're collaborating across The Lion King and The Jungle Book. And The Lion King, there's palettes that look like the way that Fenty had that eyeshadow palette from several years ago that absolutely bombed. And then Catrice have these weird geometric maze looking things for the Jungle
They're
Book.
giving me nightmares.
I simultaneously hate it, but also kind of enjoy that everything bit like there's like a pattern to it.
Yeah.
So
But also,
I hate it
like,
but love it. It's a very weird sensation for me and I don't like it.
jungle, vibrant, like that would be an obvious choice for me because there's so much you could do with that.
And yet,
And yet,
look at the shades that they've chosen for that. There's nothing in there that screams jungle. This had potential in the sense that,
I mean,
again, like I
look
said,
at the
jungle
Nomad Monteverde Cloud Forest palette.
is,
Jungle themed, beautiful. Been on my wish list for flipping ages.
but they could have done a color scheme like that. They could have had pops of really vibrant pinks and purples.
You even look at the color story of like the beauty paper palette that the Jungle Book did. They had like the murky greens and the purples, and you've got like the terracottas, and like there's so many beautiful things that they could have done. And it was like you came this close, lads.
And yet,
And yet,
you're coming to the point. Whew.
yep, we're getting there. We're getting no, I can't do it.
It's like, thanks, lads. I don't know why you're doing this. I will say, I really think that the blushes are kind of cute from
Yes.
Lion King.
That mauvey blush.
Yeah. I love the Simba one because it has the little symbol that Rafiki drew. I think that's really cute.
Oh, honestly, I'd like get so teary over Lion King.
I can't watch The Lion King without sobbing. I feel like they had some decent things in with this. Catrice's weird face palettes, I don't know what is going on with those. There's a weird grey undertone to them, but they're also sparkly. So I'm like, were you trying to do a contour?
I mean, the one on like the Mowgli, and I can't remember the name of the girl, which another reason why there should be more collabs with the Jungle Book. But yeah, that one, I don't know who that would suit. Like you say, that's very grey. The other one, I think the blushes look nice.
Yeah.
And I would use those, but those bronzes are too deep for me.
But I'd also say that the two blushes in that look very, very similar.
Unless one of them is like, here's the light version and here's a topper if you want it.
Maybe.
Which I'm less mad at.
Yeah, I'd accept that, but it does feel very strange. And then the rest of what we have are like some lipsticks, some strange skincare bits, and like lip scrubby bits, and like a little makeup bag. Gotta say, really like the Lion King makeup bag. I think that's cute.
It's beautiful, and I'm also in love with like the face toner bottle with Baloo on it, just having his little happy dance.
It's adorable. It's adorable.
It's adorable.
Here's the thing: like there are bits from this that I think that are pretty well done. Like I'm not saying all of this is dreadful, but there are elements that they could have omitted. I think straight away get rid of those eyeshadow palettes. They were dreadful.
Yeah, they're just not for me.
So bleh. I think when it comes to those little blushes from the Lion King, fabulous. Keep those. Excellent.
I almost certainly will buy those at some point.
Oh, more than fair. More than fair. The rest I'm just not really sold on.
No, I mean, I'm a lipstick fiend, so I could see myself adding a lipstick or 2 if I'm buying the blushes,
That's fair.
but I can also see myself talking myself out of it because it's like you have those shades.
That's the thing. There's nothing very interesting about those shades that
No.
makes me kind of go, "Ooh, nice." I think the packaging on it is very nice, and they've done
And
well.
what if we did a black as a Bagheera lipstick?
Mm, that would have been interesting. And there's very few drugstore versions of black matte lipsticks.
Mm.
Would be interesting. Like I would like to see that.
Need somebody do that because I will give you my money.
In general, though, this again wasn't received that well. Some things were received pretty well. Like I said, the blushes, that was a 19% love it. The palettes didn't do great, particularly the Catrice ones. That was a 6% love. The lipsticks, etc., did a bit better, as did like the lip scrub. But in general, it did fare a lot better
I
than.
would chuck those into my basket if I needed it for free shipping.
Then we have Clarity Cosmetics, and I thought this was a new palette, but it kind of technically isn't. This is a palette that they used to have, but they discontinued a few years ago, and apparently due to feedback, they were like, we're bringing this back. And they decided that what they would do is they would set up a pre-order so that anyone who wanted to get it would essentially be able to get their paws on it. They weren't going to essentially limit the numbers, which I think is quite smart. This is the Chocolate Seduction palette, and what I've noticed Clarity doing over the last while is they've been bringing their prices down, but also bringing down the sizes of their pans, which I think is smart, because the like size of the pans on their eyeshadow palettes, unless you only used that palette for the rest of your life, you were never going to hit pan. So I think them bringing down the size makes an awful lot of sense.
I think
Uh,
as well, people buying from indie brands are usually people with a bigger makeup collection, so it's
yeah.
like, we need giant pans of eyeshadow.
So I think they were smart in doing that. So for instance, this is now €27.95, which on the surface, actually not that bad. I'm going to be gross right now and say I do have an affiliate link and an affiliate code, which will give you some money off. I hate myself. There you go. It's there. That's the knowledge.
Nobody else hates you for saying that, by the way.
It just gives me the ick. I don't want you to think that I'm talking about this just because of affiliate links, but I quite like this. Like, I'm not really a neutral wearer. When I saw it in the palette initially, I was like, oh, okay, grand, whatever. But it was the swatches, particularly of the one laid out when it's on the floor. I'm going to show this now. I kind of went, oh, that's nice.
It's glorious.
Very pretty.
I mean, I either wear like pinks and purples, maybe a bit of green, or neutrals, and I'm looking at this like, yes, like chocolate seduction. Congratulations, you have seduced me.
Yeah, and do you know what? There's almost an element of grunginess to this.
Yes.
It's not like a warm tone brown or a cool tone brown. There's an element of something else to it, and I can't put my finger
There's
on it.
one that's like almost greenish.
That's it. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's making me think like a jungly sort of a look.
Catrice Essence, whichever one of you it was. This is how you do Jungle Book.
Yeah, and make it neutral.
Yeah.
I
I
think
mean,
it's
those
really
golds
pretty.
as well. Like, oh,
Yeah,
like cover my face in those golds, please.
I think it's really pretty. Now, what I will say is, I enjoy the formula of Clarity Cosmetics, but I know it's not for everyone. So, for reference, if you've ever tried Give Me Glow Cosmetics, which I know not everyone has, but if you have, their formula for the mattes is very, very similar. So, if that's worked for you, you'll probably like this as well. That's just my experience. I will say, when I was looking at the cover of the outside of the palette, it reminded me very, very much of Too Faced Chocolate Gold Bar that came out back in 2018, 2019. It looks a little bit like that.
And also slightly like the second Michaela Glamlight one with like the gold.
You're right. Yeah,
I
but
only say that because that's what I have on my eyes right now, so it's fresh in my mind.
would I necessarily pick this up? Here's the thing with Clarity. I enjoy them very much, but the shipping is very expensive. Like, I wouldn't pick this up by itself. So what I've kind of started to do is I'll generally try and wait until I can get maybe 2 or 3 things. I try not to buy just one thing by itself because I'm
Either that or I would say like club together with a few people and split the cost of shipping.
yeah. See, that's tricky for me because I'm in Ireland and nobody I know around here gives a shit.
I just and I do this with Nomad as well. I just put something on my Instagram stories like, "I want to do an order. If you're in the UK and would like stuff, let me know."
Yeah. But see, that would be the way to do it. So for
Yeah.
me, if if there was like free shipping, I'd be like, yeah, boom, grand, getting it. But I'd have to pay for shipping, I'd have to pay for customs and taxes. I do like it though, and I think this is going to do pretty well. When I put it to you guys, 40% loved it.
I see that. I mean,
For a neutral palette.
for a neutral palette, that's really good. And, also adding in that 14% of people are on a low or no buy.
I thought it was really interesting that in tandem with doing this, which is again a pre-order, they'll be shipping it in May, they also were like, here's another palette. Now, this makes sense if you're following the brand owner because she's getting married. So
Ah,
yeah. So this is her bridal party palette. And do you know what I really appreciate about this? It's already on sale by the time you're watching. This is not the traditional I'm getting married palette. Here's some pinks and purples.
which
Which
is like Teresa's getting married.
fucking exactly. It's straight into my brain and kind of like I love the kind
Is
of
this
pink.
secretly a collab palette?
I fucking wish it was. Because I love this sort of a tone of green. I fucking have it as a mug, right? That tone is beautiful. It's so fresh. There's something about it that kind of speaks to like country gentry, a manner.
It's like
Wedding.
Pride and Prejudice, but without the sexism.
Yeah. It kind of is though. It kind of is. Like I look at that color story and it's so different for a wedding. Like
It's really beautiful.
I've never seen anything quite like that. There's a really beautiful richness to it that kind of it screams like an autumnal wedding to me when I look at it.
Autumnal, maybe sort of early winter,
Yeah.
because you those like silvery, shimmery, snow-esque type. I mean, I'm a magpie and I'm instantly drawn to those because that's what my brain does.
Yeah.
It is beautiful.
It's $45, which again is not awful considering some of their palettes used to be like 65, €70.
But for a 12-hand palette from an indie brand, yeah, and
Yeah.
particularly given how beautiful those shimmers look, like
Yeah.
I will accept that.
I will say, and this is where I'm going to critique it a little bit, when I see them swatched and they do look beautiful, I feel like there's some mattes missing.
Ooh, I hadn't noticed that.
I feel like when I actually see it on, I'm kind of like, okay, I could do with one or two deep green mattes, maybe
Yeah.
like a slightly different shimmer somewhere along the way. I think if there was an extra 4 shades in there.
The two shimmers, like bottom and middle right,
Yeah.
look very similar on the eyelid.
Mm.
And I feel like you could have swapped one of those out for another matte.
Yeah, I think I'd have gotten rid of Vows and kept Every Moment because Every Moment makes a little bit more sense with the color story. And I'd go for like a couple of shades deeper to have and to hold. 'Cause I
Yeah.
think that would be very, very nice. I had a few suggestions of like a cornflower blue with like an icy white blue shimmer would be beautiful in with that as well. And I thought, well, actually, that's a very nice suggestion. I feel like this mightn't necessarily be a standalone palette.
Yeah, I would have to pair this with another palette, but I don't mind doing that.
Yeah, I do think it's absolutely beautiful. And it is like the sort of thing that I would have used on my.
I mean, I instantly look at this and like Teresa's getting married.
Yeah.
Like Teresa's got a special occasion. This is what she's wearing.
I think it's stunning. It's absolutely beautiful. And I think the price is pretty good as well. I just think it just needed a few extra mattes and it was almost there. But I'll be honest, when I saw this, I kind of went, yeah, want it immediately.
I see that.
Yeah. I think Sue tagged me. She was like, Teresa, that it was just me going, Dimmy.
Yep, I don't see that.
Yeah, I think it's fabulous. I put this to you guys, and 29% of you loved it. 23% are on a no or a low buy. And I think, again, what's getting people is there's a couple of mattes just missing from that. Then we have NYX and their hot sauce collection, which I don't personally understand. And when I'm looking at this, they kind of have two elements to this. So they have this sort of a bundle of all of these different kind of shades, and it's all monochromatic themed.
Can I buy the liners liners individually?
I think you can. If you go onto their website, you can buy the liners by themselves if
Like,
that's what you're
those
interested in.
those liners, like that purple one, that green one, yes.
Oh yeah, and
But
I
do
do
I
like
want those lipsticks? No.
that's the thing, right? So you can get the bundles and they'll have the eyeliner and a lip liner and this like lip lacquer gloss type thing. That's $29. And I do appreciate that they're going for the monochromatic look. I think that's really, really interesting. However, I'm a bit confused by some of their color combinations. Like if we're looking at the reds, and you know me, I fucking love reds, but I think that only maybe one of them was necessary because they're going to look very, very similar
They're
on
very similar. I
like,
mean, I will argue that there's a one that was more orangey toned, but then if you've got an orange in there as well, do you need
but that's the thing. So I think they could have substituted that out. And considering it's hot sauce, a couple of people said a yellow would have been really interesting.
Yes, do like like the Nando's like spice gradient? Do
Yes. Were they contractually obliged to come up with six? Is my question. I think they should have done 5 shades of this. It would have made
I
way
think
more sense.
I think they easily could have got rid of one of the reds.
Yeah, I'll also say the purple, although interesting, and I like the look of that, I don't immediately think of a purpley blue as being related to hot sauce.
No,
Not
no.
that I go near hot sauce.
Oh god, no. Any lipstick or like anything that's like plumping, I'm like instant red.
But I don't even think it's plumping, which
That's what I was trying to figure out. I was like trying to figure out, is
not
it
from what I could see.
no, me neither. But then if I buy one of these and it's plumping and they didn't tell me, I'm gonna be mad.
Yeah, you can buy them all singularly if you are interested in that. And I love that they've kind of gone, but if you want to have the glasses by themselves and just get all 6 of those, you can buy them at a bundle for $72. Here's the thing, Nix. Listen to me. Yeah, you looking at me? Listen to me. If you bundle things, reduce the cost, right? Because each of those are selling for $12 each. 12 by 6. Our mathematician Missa will tell you it is 72.
At least make it 70. Like at least say we've given you a crumb.
Should be 60.
It should.
I'd be
Really.
happy. Well, I'm not going to say happy, but I kind of accept that. But
At least if it was 60, you could be like, okay, so that's $10 per thing.
yeah, then I'd be like, okay,
Probably is 5 per thing because you're getting a lipstick and a gloss.
yeah. Then I'd be like, okay, do you know what? That's grand. I'll take that. For me, I don't get it really. I've heard mixed reviews as well about this like gloss lipstick formula. Some people love them, some people hate them. It seems to be very
Here's my beef with them is they're supposed to be like, it's only the gloss that comes off, the pigment stays on when you like eat and drink. No, it doesn't. At least not for me.
but like normally like and here's the thing, right? I have liquid lipsticks that will stay put, no problem. But if I put a gloss on top of it, that's it. That shit is gonna move.
But also, like, their XXL lip lingeries last through eating and drinking. They already have a product that does that.
It's just very strange, strangely marketed.
Yeah.
And I don't understand.
understand.
Don't understand hot
If
sauce.
if you have long lasting lipsticks and clear glosses, you don't need this.
Yeah, just basically, you probably already have this sort of thing in your collection. When I put it to you guys and I showed you the bundle, 32% of you ended up loving it.
I'm gonna do a tier and say some people press the wrong one by accident.
More than fair. And then just the lipstick thing, about 28% of you liked it. This one simultaneously makes sense, but also doesn't make sense. This is Maybelline, who have collaborated with M&Ms, and this is an Asia exclusive item, and they've been talking about doing this since August 2022. That was when it was announced that they were coming out with this. So part of why I say that this simultaneously makes sense but also doesn't is that if you look at the Asian markets, things that do very well there are very neutral sort of makeup. So I think they've played it safe. But why it doesn't make sense is it's fucking M&Ms. They're colourful, and this is what you've done.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming from this that M&Ms are a thing in Asia. I don't know, but I would assume that
It would be very weird if it wasn't. I'm pretty sure they have like dedicated stores and stuff to them over there.
Here's the thing, like they could have done neutrals, but with some muted oranges and yellows. That would have still been neutral, but more M&M.
Yeah, that would have been really interesting.
Why have they got foundation with M&Ms on it? It seems like a gimmick to me.
Nobody know. Of course it's a gimmick. Of course it's a gimmick.
Teresa calling out my shit.
It is a gimmick. It is a gimmick. It's a fucking cash grab. It's the cash grabbiest of cash grabs. Like they've taken existing products, the Fit Me foundations, the Fit Me concealers, and by the way, they're only doing 2 shades because
Yeah, like, I know they're not launching it in all of Asia because they've said, like, select parts of Asia, but, like, Asia's a big-ass continent. Like, you are not just marketing towards white people.
yeah, and I mean,
I won't do the shade-related rant again. We've been through that enough.
but like we're in a global world. People live everywhere. You
Yeah,
know, there's going to be
people emigrate and travel and, travel for work even.
yeah, there's people of different skin tones that live in different countries. Like, it's not like Ireland in the 1950s where everyone was white, right?
I mean, can you imagine if you were, like, a person of a deeper skin tone and somebody said to you, like, "Oh, you need to go to, like, Tokyo for a year or something for work." I can't imagine that there aren't places in Tokyo that you can buy makeup for people of color. I mean, please do correct me if I'm wrong, but I hope I'm not.
Yeah, from what I understand, there's a lot of like colorism.
Yeah,
Yes. So it's kind of reflected in this collection as well. Of
which I'm gonna say it again, brands do better.
yeah, like literally they have those existing shades. So all you have to do is just take the packaging and pop it onto existing things. It's not that much of a
It
thing.
can be hard to slap an M&M on a bit of packaging.
Yeah, literally. And then they have like the eyeshadow palette, which is grand, it's fine.
Seen it before.
I feel like Maybelline though have increased in price over the last couple of years when it comes to their eyeshadow palettes. Because I remember they had their lemonade pop thing, and I saw that at one point in Boots for like €30, and I was like,
What the hell was that? I'm gonna pay €30 for Maybelline eyeshadow.
and then they had the audacity, they have their 12 for Tuesday, which is the £10 Tuesday in the UK. And they were like, here's this palette for €12. And I was like, I thought that was what it was in the beginning. The palette itself, it kind of makes sense. I don't have any
The
information
colours
on
are colourful.
yeah, I don't have any information on prices because all of the images I've taken are from a Taiwanese website and everything was in Taiwanese. And so I just literally just grabbed all of these images and went, close enough, that'll do. And I have inferred and derived what I could from that. So make of that what you will. It does look like it's just going to be Asia exclusive.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be Maybelline plus a bit because they're gonna have to pay M&Ms.
Yeah, when I put it to you guys, 6% of you loved it, which I think is an appropriate statistic. This is Cali Ray, which I haven't ever really heard of before. And this is
I've
their
never bought anything.
yeah, I've never heard of the brand, so I don't know if it's like new or whatever. This is their Endless Sunset face and eyeshadow. They've said that it's talc free, which is by the way very difficult to actually do. So fair enough. It's a clean talc. Oh, by the way, I fucking hate when people say it's clean. Well,
Oh
yeah.
my god, like, I don't want any chemicals in anything. You know what's chemical? Water.
Here's the thing. Whenever I think I'm that age where I think of something as being clean, as I've given it a wipe down, grand.
Yeah.
Yes, I want my products to be clean, aka there isn't dirt all over it. That's the
Yeah,
fucking
I don't
minimum. But now they're saying, "Oh, it's clean. There's no chemicals," and I'm like, "There fucking is. That's everything is a
the
chemical."
only things that are not chemicals are singular elements.
Yeah, I just can't. I just can't.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I ain't putting, like, powdered hydrogen on my face.
I just can't. I just can't with people not understanding the basics of science. It hurts my brain. We're at a
That's
point of scientific illiteracy, and it
I
hurts.
don't think it's just scientific at this point.
But they say it's a clean, so that's great. You're not getting a dirty palette. Talc free, multi purpose palette in a sustainable bamboo compact. Now, I do appreciate that.
I love that.
I think that's very smart.
I
With
think that's the way forward.
I would like to see that happening with more brands, and I would like it if it does look like you could probably take those shades out, so that once you pan something, you could probably
I
replace
mean,
it with
if the
another.
pans are magnetic, like, if you've got a magnet, like, it's very easy to depot stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they say here it's a refillable bamboo compact.
You must be able to take the pans out then.
So I appreciate that. I feel like this is a much more sustainable thing.
I mean, I'm seriously quite tempted by this. Yes, it's basic and neutral, but I use basic and neutral makeup most days.
And I know why people tagged me in this. I know exactly why you tagged me in this because you know how I feel about weird shapes. And
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the weird shapes.
that is, honest to God, lads, that is stressing me out. And the fact that nothing is of equal size. There's a blush there that is twice the size of two other shades. And my brain, I'm struggling. If they just had this as separate, distinct, by the way, there's 7 shades. There's 7 shades. How do you put 7? Round it up and do an 8. Don't do 7, do 8.
Well, like, I'm just looking at the shade names. Like, one of them is literally called Brow Boner.
Oh no, don't do that.
So this is what they've got. They've got Hot Cheeks, which is the circular
Oh,
blush. The top left one is Ring Light, which makes sense. The one next to it is Brow Boner,
no.
which why? The one underneath that, Nudie Judies, why?
No. Oh, the next one.
Use
Usually wet.
no, I can't even say it. I
Oh
can't even bring
no.
myself to say it.
No, no.
There's Smolder with like 3 unnecessary R's.
Oh, and then what the fox?
No, I was all about this until I saw the shade names, and now on principle you are not getting my money.
And then they've said clean, talc-free skin conditioning shades. What does skin conditioning mean?
Conditioner belongs here, not here.
Have I been missing out on a step? Lads,
Help us! Does conditioner belong on our face?
I'm gonna go straight to my bathroom now.
No, because I use more than enough conditioner, like just trying to tame this mane. I don't need to waste it on my face.
Oh God, like this has potential. There are elements of
No,
this.
it can't be, because if you're like leaving conditioner in, you're supposed to like bring your hair round so you don't get bacne.
Oh yes, yes. That's right.
So if they're talking about that conditioning, I'm out.
I think they're just using like
Hey,
buzzwords.
be clear with what you mean, lads. Because otherwise, people like us are gonna go off on all kinds of tangents.
Because the words mean something to us. We had to learn the words, and now we very much stuck with them. I feel like they're just using a lot of buzzwords, like it's clean, it's conditioning, it's
Recycled, refillable, bamboo. If this is or isn't the first of their products where they're specifically going in on refillable, recyclable, all of that.
I'll applaud them for that. I like that.
Yeah, but if this is the first and only time they're going to do it, greenwashing.
Oh, 100%. Somebody in the company realised they could get like a grant for this, and we're like, lads, we can claim some tax back.
Literally.
I like the idea of the bamboo component. I think
Yeah,
this is
I think more brands should do that.
I think that's a step that needs to be done by the entire beauty community. I think there should almost be a mandate for. I think
Let's start a revolution. Bamboo packaging.
that's what I'm saying. I think we should be going that way, and I like the idea of refillable. I think that's smart. The fucking names
Why?
annoy me. The
Why?
weird hand shapes, the fact that there's 7 and not 6 or 8 drives me nuts.
Also, what background have they put like on the mirror in those product photos?
There is, yeah.
Like pastel rainbow, and I'm not mad at it, but why is it there?
I don't know. I really don't know. In the same way that I don't know what is going on with this. Like, a lot of this could have been edited out.
The darker skinned model, I'm like, does this actually work on her skin tone?
Exactly. This is like, if you're going to do a multi-use face palette, make a couple of different versions.
At least 3.
Minimum.
Preferably 5 plus.
But this is what I'm saying. I'm like, who is this working for? Me, yes.
And don't do the classic, you can use them all as eyeshadows, because nobody's going to do that.
We've tricked ourselves into doing that before, and it doesn't actually work.
I've been burned with that before.
I've been the idiot who's gone, I'm going to buy it, and this shade won't work for me, but I'm using it, and there's an eyeshadow, but no, I won't.
No, it won't.
You're an idiot, Teresa. Stop doing stupid things.
We've all done it, and some of us continue to do it. Raise your hand if you've ever been victimized by using palettes as eyeshadows.
We have a weekly meeting. It's Makeup Anonymous, and
We have t-shirts and everything.
oh, it's great. It's great. This had potential, but there's so many things that have been poorly executed that just makes my brain combust. Is the only way to
It's the It's not even close, but no cigar. It's the you tried.
Here's your participation medal. Anyways, I just saw this today, so I'm gonna put on the screen what you guys thought. I think there'll be a lot of people kind of going, fucking pans, what the fuck?
If you don't have an option for this that like WTF, I'd be sad.
But my friends, that is it. But of course, I do have my favourite comment, and this is from the fabulous Friendly Fire. She said, "This was a joy to watch. Always save R&R for my night shift to watch with one of my ladies. Unfortunately, she doesn't have the privilege of social media at the moment, and she loves makeup and looks forward to watching." So by the way, thank you so much for watching. Hugely appreciated. Then goes on to say, "I love putting faces to names. Always see Jane in the comments. You two bounce off each other so well. Thanks for the giggles, and I'll be sure to hop on over and show Jane some love. Fab episode." Thank you so much. And I did ask,
Wholesome, wonderful.
I did ask who the person was that she works with, and she was like, "Can't divulge names." And I was like, "Grand." So massive thank you for watching. Hugely appreciated, and I hope you're having a very lovely day. Yeah.
We love the wholesome vibes.
We do, we do. But my friends, that is it. That is the end of the episode. As I said at the very beginning, because it's all full circle over here, go and find Alexis over on Instagram. You'll have a lovely time. She's doing really well on using like the extent of her makeup products at the moment, and I've been really enjoying it. Well done you, whereas I'm like, new, fucking magpie. I'm an idiot. So if you're into actually using what you have and not being super consumer driven, Alexis is the way to go. I'm just saying, it's nice to have her
there.
Yeah, so go and check her out. I highly recommend it. And other than that, like, comment, and subscribe to myself because I love attention. Turn on that notification bell if you like this sort of a series. It happens every single week, but there's also other things that I do over here. Not very well, but I do them. And that's
That Louise video, though, I was going to mention that. Like, that eyeshadow, whoop,
it wasn't bad. Didn't take me long either.
beautiful.
Yeah, who knew? Who knew? But my friends, do please share because sharing is caring, except of course for STDs. In which case, just wrap it up. Don't be gross. But that's the end of the video, and we will see you guys again. Bye.